The big thing, and why I mentioned Indeed, is about deduping. So when you advertise a job, that job will appear on different agency sites. It will appear on different job boards, and it will appear on aggregators and any number of platforms that scrape your adverts. So Google doesn't like duplication. In fact, it penalises duplication. So there is going to be some ranking. Now, we know that they're doing partnerships with LinkedIn. We know they're doing partnerships with Monster and Glassdoor. So these are people that are going to have the job adverts on their sites. But in terms of priority, who is going to be at the top of the pile? Now, when you talk to anybody in Google, what Google want to do is quite simple. Google want to give their visitors, their seekers, their searchers, they want them to find the most relevant and original content and authentic content. Now, as employers, you are the original publisher. You are the person that actually produced that content. So if you looked only at what Google wants to do, that gives you an insight into what Google is going to prioritize. And if it can find your jobs and index them correctly, and it knows it's attached to you, then naturally we expect employer jobs to be at the top of the actual results. And then it's a case of how it's going to rank under there. We suspect it probably will be LinkedIn, Glassdoor, job boards with branded adverts, recruitment agencies with branded adverts, and then it'll be unbranded adverts. But what we're absolutely convinced of, no Indeed. So that is, and I personally, I actually think it's going to kill off Indeed. Because they are building, I mean, if you've heard that they're doing a huge radio advertising campaign, they're doing a lot on TV, because what they're going to try and do is actually become the destination, so people actually go to them to find a job rather than Google. But that's changing behaviour of human beings. We would naturally go to Google, and I think it's a brave decision. In fact, they're blocking Google from finding, from what we understand, is blocking Google from finding their paid-for jobs. So they're prioritising those, so they want people to come to it, which is why they're then promoting it on TV and radio. So actually it's a case of, that's a really bold move. It'll either make or break. I personally think that Google, they're big enough to take on pretty much anybody these days, apart from maybe the EU, but that's another story. So in terms of priorities, there's three things I want you to think about. One, which I make no promise of the fact that I sound like a stuck record on this, is make sure your jobs are Google friendly and not hitting your ATS, because then you can forget about active job seekers. You don't need to worry about them because they're going to find you. You just need to make sure you're focusing on writing good quality adverts. Two, Google's going to benefit you guys. Google is going to make it easier for people to find your jobs. And make sure your career website is good and not the ugly.